Okay, we're back, y'all. You should be able to keep up with the chat there. If not, it's okay. All right, we're back. Make sure upon re-entering, you're hitting that thumbs up. This is part 2. Let's continue. So, um, glad you received the confirmation. Pantera fam, sacred. Yeah, just make those adjustments. Make those adjustments. Because I did not enjoy that vibe I was getting there from it. Nothing to be worried about. If you know, if making the practical adjustments, okay? You don't, you know, need to have that pulling you away from new beginnings. Okay? Yeah, repair. Needs fixing, make adjustments. It is mirrored, however. It says repair, fine tune, heal, and then surrender to complete healing. So whatever it is that you collective, whatever it is you're doing to escape, to not fully, that's gonna be doing what it do. Okay. We're back. So whatever it is that you are doing to possibly, you know, escape a final part of you actually releasing, because it's something that comes back up within the nervous system that now causes you to dive into something that you have a habit of doing that is not beneficial to you. Substance, food, a person or people, sex, or overworking, overthinking as well. Because right now with the waning crescent moon, it's activating your earth star chakra below your feet, which can really help you with ancestral integration. So you may even notice that around these waning crescent phases is when you're noticing you have to slow down on certain things, especially if they're not beneficial to you. But the fact that it's in Gemini, the meaning behind as to why you go into something that helps you to escape is coming through your thought patterns, your conversations, things that you're writing, or the stories you continue to repeat to yourself. Clarify, why is the mature man in reverse? Why is this mature man energy in reverse? Obviously, could be something having to do with someone younger, 5 years ago. Not someone younger 5 years ago, but it could one, someone younger, 2, 5 years ago. Or for some of you, that's 5 years ago. Why is mature man in reverse? 41, which is a 5. Not seeing the deeper meaning of something that's coming through your thought patterns right now. Okay? Regarding time. 37, that's a 10. 1, 5, and 1. Well, yeah, 5 and 1, 6. A habit. Time to close out a habit. Yes. To surrender to complete healing. But it's time to see the deeper meaning of it, which is having to do with being nurtured, nourished. Another 6 energy showing up here. In terms of the 41, that's a 5, 37, that's a 10, bring that to a 1, that's a 6, and then you got a 6 here. 51, 15. It was 1551. It has to do with the circuit, going in circles with something. But now that we got 5115, let's see. What's up, Gigi? 5115. To dwell. Keep at home. This is something you keep sweeping under the rug here. Bring them out, bring them out, bring them out, bring them out. What is this? Because if you're not going to have that, the conversation and connection to the solution, we're going to do that right now. We're going to do that right now. Yeah, let's do this right now. You have the lady. How is it here? Show me what you work with. Symbolic of Venus. Venus is in Libra. And Venus in her domicile can increase a desire where you can overindulge even. The light shines in through the window. The light shines in through your soul. Your mind is quiet enough to hear what your soul has to hear, to sense what your soul has to say. Emphasizing her strong features. She is the embodiment of feminine power. And then you got surrender to your intuition. All right, since you're over here doing piece by piece, spirit, come on with it. Okay. Unexpected income is the end of a cycle. 27. This could happen in 20 days. Mercury Kazemi. Makes sense. Mercury in the heart of the sun. Exact conjunction in degrees. Revelations with solutions and actions. Surrender to your intuition. Unexpected income. You got child in reverse. You got baby upright, but child in reverse. Childish as ever. What is this? See, stubborn is on here. Inner child. Do what you love. Unexpected income. It has to do with this new beginning that is connected to doing what you love and unexpectedly receiving opportunities, open doors. So it's important to surrender these habits that are not going to be beneficial and more so distracting when these opportunities arrive. And, you know, it's important for you not to come into a point where you're living a life of karmic repetition instead of the retrieval, as we've been speaking about in this energy of the solar eclipse that's coming up, but you can already sense the energy now. You have to use the vibes wisely, my love. Let's see. Fortress. Fortitude. Stay in power. Stubborn. All right. At this point, for some of you, this is why you could be stubbing your toe quite a bit too. Especially approaching this Earth Star chakra vibes. The chakra under your feet. So it's a rebel without an actual cause as to why you're rebelling so hard. What is this about? Ready for anything. All right. Unchanged. Challenge. Coming out sideways. Summer. Before the end of the summer, this better change. 919. Because what you don't see coming is a soulmate. Or an opportunity that feels as though it's infinite love. It's going to be an uncommon bond too. After a long period of hardship, misfortune, overcoming trials, crisis, grief, adversity, accidents, disappointment, setbacks, open dishonor, humiliation, feeling as though you're being punished, serving time for something you don't even have to allow yourself to serve time for anymore. This could be the past life memory from that pick-a-pal. Now I'm about to get in your business. So if that's not what you're here for, you better log on now. Somebody just had chicken parmesan. Or you've been craving that. Or you could be born the year of the dog. Italy. It's a great place. People born the year of the dog. Is it? No? One of y'all. One the other dog. It was just 10:22. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let me keep these out though. Show me the current energy for the collective. Especially when it comes to this mental pattern that has reached completion. Because it's time to give that realization language. Not trying, not hoping. The real talk. Welcome back. Welcome back. Greetings, Secret Scales, Bandera Soul Fam. See, I have to scroll up. Let's see who's about to get blocked. Oh no. I thought that was something else. One second. See, this shit I be talking about. Cause this don't be catching up. But I know what you mean. I said bring him out. You funny. 1222. Current energy. The mind's eye. What about it? After the full moon. So when the moon was in Pisces, August 1st to 2nd, around there, passion ignited. Yo, the way these cards be coming out the same way. When I'm on here, y'all get similar messages, or it continues the story from the previous one, the previous live. And it's on TikTok, same thing. But the story may switch up, obviously, because the energy is different over there. 61, a 7, solitude. Currently, you're being asked to sit your ass down. Sit down with your mind's eye. When it comes to passions that are being reignited, you're reawakening after the 15th reawakening you have had on this planet, since you can actually recall 15 plus of them up to this moment. At this point, for some of you, this is your 61st reawakening. Now, what's the challenge in this right now? What's at the bottom? The crown chakra. The crown chakra. Tell me about it. Extremely word up sacred. What is the challenge? The solar plexus. Oh, boy. Oh, no, I don't need this right now. Let me look and see. Because this should keep coming out. Solar plexus is the way you're directing your energy, the way you're making decisions, pursuing your goals. It's a challenge. And I'm going to immediately clarify what this is right now. Because this either shows up here in the position that it's in as a challenge or as your advice. I'm noticing that quite a bit. The challenge is the way, it's having to do with the way you're pursuing your goals, or you're making decisions to pursue those goals. Clarify the challenge in doing so. Your expectations. 28, bringing it back to a 1. Your expectations could be, it's too low. Because I'm not going to say your expectations are too, well, for some of you, could be too high based on where your nervous system is. I was mentioning this on TikTok last night, well, no, live from the previous evening, where you can set certain goals or do affirmations, but not many people are comfortable within themselves to say that they are now earning $1 million a month. It creates this shock in the system because of the present conditions or situations that people that they may have going on, which would be an example as to where your expectations could be too high for what your nervous system is able to withstand. Obviously, you can make the adjustments so that way, you know what I'm saying, you're in alignment to asking for more than what you deserve, but it's because you have the vessel and the structure to hold it, for it to be held, for it to be somewhere that it can be nurtured and nourished. See, and then you got imprisonment here, but this is more so, what number was that from earlier? Because that did show up earlier too. And it was around the time that there was an ambulance and a fire truck around here. Let me see. $612. That's 10 of Swords. Mercury in Gemini or Sun in Gemini. That's a 10. Expectation. Tell me more about these expectations for the collective. Let's see. And a wealthy man. You're, ooh. Because this is literally what I'm feeling. Look at this. Poverty at the bottom of the deck. I'm telling you. Where you're affirming things that you're not even confident that you are supposed to be going towards. That tends to trigger what it is that you utilize to escape. Whether if it's binging on shows when you really should be focused on what it is that you have going on, what it is that you're creating, people, a person, sex, food, drinking. Not saying don't enjoy yourself, but overindulging, there's a root to why that happens. Let's look at the basis of this. And I'm going to look at the basis of it as the root of it. So Saturn energy as well. We can look at it from a Mars perspective as well. Because anybody can be assigned with the heart and the action to switch everything you got going on. A whole complete turnaround for you. But some of you have a focus as to where you feel as though that's actually going to come from. And that's not necessarily the way the universe is orchestrating itself for you. There was a card that had the verbiage here, actually. Random results. Turning point. Playing the game. New beginnings. Unlimited potential. New phase. Birth of an idea or an actual child. Discipline, working smart. Okay. Doing what you love. I see. So we're literally going to have to move through this message of delivering it, but also removing the energy. Proper energy exchange. What's the root of this? The moon. Shadow. Your subconscious mind, the way you feel about this, what allows you to feel secure based on your feelings. This waning crescent in Gemini is literally opening up what has to ancestrally be completed at this point. Integrated so it can be completed. Because it's not whether you're ready to step further and deeper into your humanitarian efforts with the North Node in Aquarius. It's more of a matter of when. Did I just say that twice? No, I said it's not a matter if you're going to. Whatever. I don't even recall what was just said. So, 23 on the top. Telling you. Bring whatever it is that you got caged in or in the closet to the collective. Take it to the next level. So something does from the past. Something does from the past. I'm not even gonna switch it up. Something does from the past. Just speak the same way it's coming out. Something does from the past return. It has to. Why? So you can see your different options. So you can see where you have a misalignment with your trajectory at this point. Because you see how she's looking out the window. But the resources, the wealthy man is behind her. It's not about you going backwards. No, it's not going backwards. Retrieving the next energy or the next tune-up of that idea that you had in the past that you weren't able to move forward with then, that the experience and the knowledge you have now would allow you to ease on forward with it. So whether if it's a person, a memory, an experience, whatever, it has to show up so that way it can help you, each and every one of you, based on your situation, to trust your intuition, huh? The High Priestess at the bottom here. You have to feel this more than you're processing this through your thoughts, although the moon is in Gemini, but the ruler of Gemini is in the sign of Cancer, of feeling. This is also less about adding more information, but more so identifying what the information has already revealed. With that, what's in the immediate past? What has been revealed? You had clarity about this idea before, but obviously something has occurred. It may have to do with the relationship where you weren't highly fulfilled. The Nine of Cups in reverse. The Lover's card upright, 66. Could be the second time you do something. Heart chakra behind the Nine of Cups in reverse. It wasn't victorious or successful. Get into that black walnut wash. Drink your tea. Because show me more about this. Immediate past energy. Ace of Swords, clarity. Mental clarity. Trapped in fear. Yeah, see. Jupiter and Gemini. Two to 3 years ago. (2023) even. In the universe. It's as if repeating a closed cycle that wasn't supposed to be repeated, action-wise. And I'm gonna keep repeating that though, in regards to where you were mentally, the excitement that you had then. Now you're just probably only experiencing about 20% out of that 100, and that other 80, funny enough, 28 is here. That other 80 is still in 2023. That 80 of you is still wherever it is. It ain't here. It ain't with you right now. That we got to bring that shit over here. Okay? What's crowning this energy? It seems as though in the past it was just too much talking, not enough doing. Too much talking, not enough doing, and you had the clarity as to what to do. What's crowning this? You had the clarity on what to do. Now, one way that that energy sneaks up is if you're watching something or someone that is in a position of them thriving, and you feel this energy of jealousy and envy that you don't say out loud to someone else, but something within you goes off where you're wondering or comparing yourself and wondering, when is your time? What I was mentioning to the collective in the previous live over on TikTok was the following, especially with this moon in Aquarius energy, with it having to do with technology. That would be the new medium as to the way certain spiritual things are transporting itself. And with the moon in Aquarius, meaning within this deck having to do with deception and envy, the moon energy is you personally, your emotions, which is at the bottom of your spread too with shadow. Now this particular shadow aspect is not, I'm not necessarily saying that you're the one that's jealous and envious of things that are going on outside of you, where it causes you not to actually celebrate or support something that you quote unquote find yourself around. And whatever this energy is causing you to sometimes possibly support, but then in other moments, you know, what you're actually doing is giving a side eye. That could be coming from past lineages. But first it started with your initial soul tribe, which is the family you're born into. And now what's happening is you're carrying that into other partnerships that you're experiencing, knowing good and well that shit ain't got nothing to do with what it is that you're closing in that home from or fourth house energy. So you got to be real with yourself and having those conversations and shutting that down, telling yourself, this person received that opportunity because they're in the position where that's their life, that's their journey, and you have your own. Because sometimes that shit can creep up, and when you, especially for not realizing that a lot of times you may have people that you're connected with on social media that are projecting that onto you, and now you're feeling that. See what I mean? So with this specific phase in the moon that's in Gemini, really have those serious ass conversations with yourself that you're not going to be honest about or transparent about with other people, especially if you got something to say and you ain't saying shit about it, but you just holding on to it to yourself. Even when it comes to you having family members that are supporting other people in their endeavors, and you got your own thing going on, whatever the case may be, you don't see too much support from them. Listen, this is why you're born into the family and the family that you chose initially, so that way you can expand and evolve yourself when it comes to when you're placing yourself into vulnerable situations. You can read the energy as it is, and not make an assumption or misuse the law of assumption, feeling as though, oh, because they're blood related or connected to you, they're supposed to do this. They ain't supposed to do shit, and y'all already know that. But don't allow that projection of what it is that they're doing, because a lot of times they may carry some level of jealousy or envy because you're just choosing to be you, the authentic version of you. In the most subtle ways, people carry jealousy and envy, or that spirit. They host that spirit in the most subtle of ways. That's the only thing I don't enjoy, honestly, about even when it comes to connecting with people, because I can sense that immediately. Especially if you a Sagittarius sun, the soul of a Sagittarius. That's the type of shit you don't hide that from Sag. There's no fucking way. So just be mindful of that. If you're not gonna wholeheartedly, support people, or people are not supporting you, just remove your energy from it. Just remove your energy from there. Yeah, see, Destiny is at the bottom of the deck. Tell me more about this deception and envy. Stand your ground. Another 7. A lot of 7 showing up. Connect to the power that comes with solitude. For you to, fully engage in your spiritual alignment, or your holistic alignment, whichever word you decide you rolling with. It's time to cut out these emotions that you have. You got Moon in Aquarius, Mars and Leo showing up here. For some of you, that's literally what's stopping you from, you know what I'm saying, fulfilling your desires, taking the actions that would lead you to fulfilling your desires. Venus energy, fulfilling your Venus energy, the way your Venus is set up. Because you're paying too much attention to the way people are going to perceive you. The root of that is shame and guilt, which is now preventing you from actually loving yourself. More than anything, shame, because that blocks your solar plexus. Well, you're doing what it is that you have to do, but whatever, that's another thing too. When when you're working with certain ancestors, this is that gutter shit when it comes to working with ancestors. You see what I just told you about the jealousy and envy, and you know it as the ancestors dwell within you. Some of them may feel some type of way that you sitting here revering. They may feel some type of way about the fact that you're taking it to the next level. Now you may have a cousin or some shit that is literally going against what it is that you're doing, where you spiritual and they religious as fuck. But if you listen clearly, y'all speaking about the same thing. This is an example. So what your the forefront of your mind was crowning this energy with your understanding what it's time to cut out when it comes to your what you create that brings you joy. Mars, sever, Leo energy, whatever is pulling you away from allowing yourself to be seen, visible, recognized, connecting to your sovereignty. But that also gives that no bullshit type of heart. Where you tune into that primordial energy, Mars and Leo, shit, fighting spirit of a lion. I mean, come on. With the deception and envy, moon and Aquarius, you know exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to what you're feeling. So, I'm in your business. I told you I was gonna be in your business. But nah, yo, it's just once you actually put a name to it in terms of you're seeing something that you would love to support, but then you get this. It's literally an energy that just right up over you. You get this vibe of let me just watch. Or if the person doesn't have too many people viewing their shit or whatever the case may be, you gonna be the additional person that doesn't hit a heart or a thumbs up on their shit. But with that also happening to you on the flip side, use that energy as the 5 of Wands, your training grounds. Really be more aware as to who isn't showing up, and when shit pop off, who starts showing up. And they've been around the entire time. Because you're going to see it. You're going to see it. And allow yourself to embrace that awareness that you have on some, you know what? I see you, see you. Now, someone who's spiritually refined, discerning, that's going to certainly fine-tune your abilities, because that's also one of the tests you're going to receive in terms of, let's see if we can turn it up a notch when it comes to your clairs, where if it's clear cognizance, clear audient, clairvoyant, clear aliens, clear clairgustance. That's what your eyes get. That's what eyes get. Being nosy as hell. And fucking trick. That's what you get. You know what I'm saying? Yo. Granted, my blinds are open and you could clearly see or whatever. But when people just be waiting for a certain moment to see. Basically what the fuck I was just saying too. Similar to that. Soon as she's about to start peeping up in here. Trip. Show me what this is. Deception and envy. Stand your ground. Yo. 7th house. Another 7. 777 at the top, yo. Okay. Some of you are literally fighting your feelings when it comes to a significant relationship. Mars fighting, Moon feeling, 7th house relationship. We got Sagittarius here at the bottom of the deck. Let me see. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. Y'all vibe out to this jazzy. Oh, I didn't mean to press that button. We should get some more tea. We about to have a conversation. I'm all in your face. All right. It be so many scenarios that be coming through as I'm delivering these messages where it's really be on some, listen, I'm gonna just show you some a whole bunch of stuff here. But not everything has to be said. We'll let you know what's what. Now, upon getting up, I paused it at shuffling, and we got the sun card here. That's nothing about this Leo season. It is the sun. The sun exposes. So it's going to expose a whole bunch of shit, while also making sure you step into your power. Part of that power is even more so connected to, you know, allowing the universe to love you for real. Allowing your higher self to love you. Allowing your higher self in the form of loving you, showing you where, okay, that partnership is over for that. You're done here. We're good with that. Show me what's happening next here. Emotional withdrawal. The flicking, yeah. There we go. Emotional withdrawal, Saturn and Pisces. Now, Saturn is basically letting off the chains on these things that you possibly weren't able to see clearly because they're connected to the unseen realms, Pisces. Now, what's happening next is up to you, literally, because Saturn is retrograde. So Saturn is not holding your hand right now with Mercury and Taurus. So the way you communicate to yourself about your worth when it comes to things that you're having to undo yourself or emotionally walk away from, emotionally withdraw from, walk away from it with gratitude, because all of it was it played its role. All of it served a purpose. The key is to, you know, once you recognize that purpose, to make sure you see it exactly for what it is. Do y'all be knowing the purpose of your challenges and your obstacles? Do you actually know the purpose of it? Are you capable of seeing what the purpose is so you can withdraw from the situation with gratitude? So much so that cycle doesn't repeat itself again. That's the question. Wisdom, the Hierophant, new beginnings, new love. Hey, baby, look at here, honey. Look at here. What's the advice here? What's next is you're emotionally withdrawn from the situation. Your advice is to honor the Empress within you. You don't see that's answering the question though. What you waiting on? Mars in Aries, it seems as though you're constantly cutting a part of your identity out to fulfill something out of comfortability, whatever the word is at this point. Making sure you're being the version of yourself you don't get tired of. So it doesn't stop you from being consistent. Because this Empress is basically saying you've gone through all the lessons of the queens, knowing who you are, especially through a relationship, really honoring your feelings and utilizing those feelings wisely. Aries, Libra, Cancer, Capricorn, the queens, cardinal signs. You know? What's in the environment for the collective influence in all of this? What's influencing all of this here? What's in the environment? I know that ain't the Five of Wands. Well, something that's significant, that was significant to you, that happened between the 22nd of July and the 1st of August, doesn't have to be this year. Some of you is 2021. We got August 5th here as well. Saturn in Leo. Boy. Competition. Some sort of competitive energy. Because comparison is the thief of joy, and that joy comes from your solar plexus, which is your challenge. Challenge is Saturn, and that's in your environment. Leo. Saturn and Leo. Could be a Leo. And then you have the intuition card again. Somebody could have a moon in Leo. You could feel this. Ideally enough, 218 is the Seven of Swords energy. Third decan, Aquarius. So the distorted part, the karmic repetition that has to be released, is that envy energy. Envy, jealousy. Heart chakra. And being connected to shame and guilt is not going to allow you to reach here. So this is what this energy that's in your environment is basically challenging you on. Your heart chakra, which keeps coming out too. How is this actually happening though? How is this actually happening? Show me the connection here. Page of Wands. Inspiration. More fire energy though. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And then the moon card. Eight of Wands. What's hidden about this inspiration? That's the way this is happening here. What's hidden? What's hidden? Man, if that fucking Five of Swords come out, I am out of here. 8:44 right now. What's hidden? That's even worse. The Four of Wands in reverse came out. It's for sure ain't somebody that's celebrating you, I can tell you that. claim to love, support, whatever. Nah. They thought you were someone average. They thought you were doing something that, you know, they've seen other people do and only get but so far. But see, this is where astrology comes into play, and where people are missing out on, especially people who are living in fear through, you know, people doing certain things to them with certain crafts. But if you understand your astrology, instead of somebody putting in your mind, oh, you're being spiritually attacked, no, what's actually happening is you got certain planets that are in a certain house creating a certain aspect that's literally slowing you down. Ain't got shit to do with Sally, Jesse, Raphael doing whatever it is that they doing. Wherever your conviction is the reality you keep playing in. But I can tell you right now, this energy in your environment is hiding the way that they're competing with you. And they quote unquote claim to support what it is that you do. It could be clout chasing, to be quite frank with you. So there's that. What's in this hopes and fears position? Hopes and fears position, you got the base chakra, Saturn, root chakra. Behind it is the high priestess. What it's time for you to release is more so what the fear, false evidence appearing real, of what the stage that this person, or this performance that this person is putting on. Release that perspective of it and really connect to what your intuition has been telling you this entire time. You know this energy doesn't fuck with you. So much so that your spirit, your ancestors, your spirit guides has even placed you in certain positions strategically to see the way that these people are moving against you. But then when they get around you, they're claiming that they fuck with you. Oh, they're fucking with you, all right. But not in the sense where, you know what I'm saying? They are truly aligned with you. They're in your energetic space, you allowing them to remain there, oblivious to what your intuition is telling you, because there's another group of you who are highly aware of exactly what I'm saying, and you're moving accordingly. Where what's happening now, you're allowing the person to literally wrap themselves in their own misery, instead of reflecting the energy back. You're constantly showing them the mirror, and they're constantly just seeing themselves over and over and over again. Now what happens? You might see it in a dream, or this Leo season is a lot of shit that's being exposed anyway. Where the way that they actually move with you is what they're experiencing in their immediate environment. This is why I say your awareness is going to be much stronger than your strategy right now. Because it's that awareness that helps you to build the strategy anyway. Show me the outcome. Now, what is the connection? Before we go there, show me the connection of the root of this message, the foundation of it, with the moon card, and surrendering addictions, whether it be a substance, food, people, sex, overworking, or overthinking. What is the connection here? Because again, your ancestors dwell within you. What's within, so without. Once you cut things at the root, your experience of life changes. What's the connection between those two and the foundation of this spread? The same card that's in your immediate past, the Eight of Swords, Jupiter and Gemini. There's a lot of talking. This is really social media related, for real. It's a lot of talking, but the actions don't match the talking. The energy behind the words, the intent behind the words, they're not connecting. Your awareness is picking that up. 818, that's Leo energy right there once again. 7 of Wands specifically, which is at the crown of your message. Standing your ground, Mars, your fighting spirit when it comes to what brings you joy, and removing, severing yourself from things that come in with energy that is complete opposite of that. The Tower. Surprise, surprise. What comes clear to you is that how irrelevant the energy is, though. Especially with Uranus in Gemini and the moon being in Gemini. Or at most, that's the way that you're able to, speaking of this Eight of Cups, do you truly understand the lessons so that way you can connect to you walking away from the situation with gratitude? And then the Nine of Cups is up right here. Where now things are being shifted suddenly through your awakening. Taking lids, coverings off. Things that, 6444, that emotionally fulfill you personally. Expanding on that. Especially undoing yourself from situations that are causing you to, that the root of it is connected to more so things that are connected to your ancestral memory. What's the Tower? The Five of Pentacles. Mercury and Taurus. Now you find that your communication with yourself changes. Yeah, literally. The Death card changes, transformation. Where now you're speaking highly of yourself and you don't feel uncomfortable. Bang. You don't feel uncomfortable. So now if you sit here and tell yourself through your affirmations that you are now financially stable to the point you're so specific that you make $1 million a month, it feels different. It feels in alignment to you. This is what I mean about being aware of energy surrounding you and the ways of removing it by you being consciously aware that certain situations don't belong around you, especially if you're not capable of moving in a certain way where you leave a person exactly where they had you fucked up from the jump. Yeah. What's the outcome here? Pause at the universe. Come on now. What's the outcome? The waiting game. We're going to put this back. But understood. Waiting game. pop the cork when it comes to when it came out earlier. What you waiting on? You're no longer waiting now. Or at least waiting in vain for situations, people, opportunities. 67-27. The outcome, regaining strength of the sacral. Your acceptance of change. The ability to flow, create. Yeah, I love to see it. Allowing yourself to be a vessel of giving birth to a new reality with the Empress as your advisor, because the outcome is the womb space, sacred space, fulfillment, trusting your intuition, which the hopes and fears position, that's where the High Priestess or the intuition card came out, releasing the fear of how on point your intuition can be. Where did that fear stem from? What's the root of that fear? What's the root of that fear? Show me the root of that fear of the High Priestess. It landed here. False person. Man. Wait. And then 33, concern. The power that's connected to a realization that makes an old concern seem irrelevant. It's not that big of a deal. But let me see here. As you were going through it, it had its major effect on you. But this is also, this fear of your intuition is causing you to be someone that you're not. You're being shaken up because it felt as though that was a slight little earthquake type of feeling right there. Although there isn't right now, but it definitely felt that way. It gave that type of hydraulic energy there. Show me. What's the root of this? False person. But this is also having to do with your ancestors that had to hide with this psychic ability. It's an amazing gift. 727 on the timer, third time. Chariot, Empress, Chariot. Chest, Ark, money chest, Ark of the Covenant. Reaching a higher intelligence. So here's what I'm seeing now. Because you have, if the ancestors that dwell within you were projected on a screen right now, what I'm being shown is the group that you're receiving assignments from, and previous generations that received the same assignment but had some sort of fear because of the time frame that they were in. Everybody played their role accordingly, but some have been holding on for dear life, which is why some of you, the way that's going to appear in your physical reality with family members, it would be you in the sense of they're playing the role of a major opposition to what it is you're doing, whether if it's loudly or silently. What's loudest is the one that do it silently. People leave jealous, scared to be around, scared they're exposed. Learn to suppress. It's a deeper wound. And this is also what I'm saying about how they come around. See how she got all this red energy, root chakra. They come in with their fear, their jealousy, their envy. But from a higher perspective, you know, as I always mention that, you know, things that you experience is something that's within you that's bringing this out. These are, you know, the energies of the past ancestors that, you know, that you're correcting. When it comes to you correcting the bloodline, that's literally who it is that you're, you know, shifting. What it is you're shifting. Tell me more. Courtship, and it landed right on top of, and this had a major effect on your relationship too. Courtship with the lovers here. Courtship landed sideways right on top of this 7th house card. So you've been doing a lot of cleaning up. Now it's time for you to bask in your environment that's cleansed. Allow yourself to. You know what I'm saying? Outcome. Suffered in silence. 9 of Swords, that's Mars and Gemini. Where you were scattered with ideas, that has to do with the challenge as well. As you were going through these shifts, these cleanups, detoxes, these revamps, there were a lot of ideas that you may have had scattered, which was causing you not to move accordingly as to the way you were directing your energy when it came to these ideas. But what you've done so far up to this point is that you're ready to move on. So for some of you, you haven't been fully clear that you have moved on from that space you were in, spiritually, emotionally, mentally. You've moved on from that. So it's basically now where your mind is catching up. Your brain is catching up, which is going to shift the way you take action, the way you move. One more. Yo, I love to see it because, what was that? Moving On was at the bottom of the deck, but from my mind's eye was showing me this. Jupiter and Leo, victory and success. 296. Becoming loud with your movement, action, and choices. Becoming much louder with that. Not verbally, through your actions though. 296. To rise, basically. To rise. And then it says, my brother has risen. Brother energy or sibling is Gemini. So you stepped into a higher level of your perception, your thought patterns. Man. Spiritual strength, Moon in Sagittarius. You're able to do so because now you can feel this elevation of higher intelligence, Moon in Sagittarius. So because you can feel it, you know it. Especially if you're no longer resisting that by waiting. Split the deck, it's waiting. They don't get it. It's not for them. You not for them. Ancient. Let them know, sacred. Huh? Let's clarify this vibe. Current energy, mind's eye, passion ignited. Another ace, another beginning card. One of passion and one of something that you can touch that's tangible because of the awakening of your passion. To tell me more about this offer that lands on your lap, per se. A new beginning of something that you can physically take part in. How long is this? Okay. You got the Five of Wands and the King of Wands. Okay. Yeah. Wow. If that ain't confirming everything I just said right now. So let's put this into words here. This is basically on some spirit talk about, listen here. I'm about to give you this here pentacle right here, okay? But I'm going to show you what it is that you're not carrying through this new beginning, through this new opening. You have to look at this clearly so you can see where all these energies that we're about to expose to you that have been in competition with you. However, this was also part of your training season, which was also making you stronger when it comes to your awareness or the way you follow this here, the mind's eye. Because you cannot connect to this passion being reignited without the awareness of your mind's eye. Where you're able to see what it is that you're here to do, your assignment, see it clearly with clarity, which means you have to step out of fear, have a solid root chakra, because that root chakra is what's going to allow you to connect to your highest self, to receive clarity from the universe. And when you do so, now you can receive the vision of your assignment. And because you have that vision, you can trust yourself because your root chakra is active, where you connect to the deep basic levels of trust, feeling safe, secure within yourself. So you don't second guess what it is that you're doing. So this is even on some, you were being given fragments of your assignment until you were able to hold it all. That's why you had these reawakenings after reawakenings after reawakenings. And it gets to a point where sometimes it's literally, you feel as though it's the same thing dressed up as a different outfit. Yeah, pretty much. But what it's doing is preparing you for you to be able to see it as exactly as it is, to make the best decision for you. And that's when the energy hits the strongest. That's literally an example too. I would, yeah, of life and death type of vibes, where make sure your next decision is the best decision. Clarify the challenge with the solar plexus expectation and the wealthy man. It was 2813 again. Yeah. You'll keep going through these situations over and over and over again until you fully grasp the lesson. That's why Saturn is exalted in Libra. That's exactly why. It loves to put you through certain relationships for you to see yourself. And until you master that lesson, you're going to continue that path with that particular energy or dynamic within a relationship, because Libra has to do with 7th house relationships, long-term significant partners, whether it's romantic, business, or family. But it's all designed to show you back to you. Clarify this here. Repairer of the Wall, 2813. Part of that challenge also with the solar plexus in regards to the way you utilize your energy or the direction that you're going in, making decisions based on the direction that you're going in, how often you're assisting others more than you are yourself. Let's see, the Two of Swords, this Moon in Libra. Okay. The challenge is not trusting what you feel when it comes to a long-term significant partner, romantic, business, or family. Not trusting what it is that you feel. Now, tell me more about that. Mercury and Sagittarius. I'm seeing where somebody is having a conversation with a significant partner, and they're hearing you, quote unquote, listening to you, but they don't actually agree with what it is you do. Instead of being transparent and honest, they might ghost you. They may, that's all I'm getting. It may just disappear. But the reason why that happens is because they're not in alignment to you. They're just there to show you the part where you may utilize your devotion to see why something isn't working out. Having a conversation that goes absolutely nowhere. Because if you happen to repeat that cycle with that energy, you repeat the same consequence of the previous time. It might be dressed up a different way. It's going to be the same shit. And the reason why that's coming through that way, because the solar plexus is being clarified by the moon in Libra. So it's showing me that it's a relationship. And there are different belief systems. Again, this could be a lover, business, or family. Tell me more. The Seven of Swords. So clearly you know exactly what I'm speaking of, because this is the same card that's at the forefront of your mind. This has to do with the group of friends, so-called friends. Together, that's the Nine of Swords. And once you remove yourself from this energy, or this energy is removed from you, now you're able to create, because they're the final stage of where it is this energy is lurking when it comes to you trusting your intuition about what it is that you're here to create anyway. For sure. Especially when it comes to you reclaiming your purpose, your career, reclaiming authority of that. That's with the Sun in Libra, and Saturn in Aries is really showing you a lot about partnerships, for real, which is helping you to feel the direction you're supposed to go as a Moon in Aqua, and the fact that the North Node is in Aquarius. So a lot of these partnerships for you as a Sun in Libra is literally showing you where, you know, certain people may have come through with an energy that feels so heavy that now you're in your head about what, you know, what you're here to do. Realigning with your personal authority, for real. Clarify the basis of this. While sacred, while Neptune is in Aries and it's retrograde, that'll be until December 12th, and Saturn will be retrograde to December 10th. So I would say till the 20th of December. Move with more discipline and structure when it comes to what Neptune is removing, as far as any type of confusion or unclear messages. As if, okay, you know how you know the way they say that when Neptune is direct, you're putting on a rose-colored glasses. When it's retrograde, you don't have them on, so your vision is clear. So you're basically being able to see, if you're still underwater, seeing you got your goggles on while it's retrograde, Neptune. So you're going to really be able to see through a lot of, you know, one-on-one significant partnerships, and trust what it is that you're seeing. Because another thing that Saturn is doing for you is making sure, okay, can you manage this on your own before I step back in to either give you a reward, or we have to go back through this lesson again. That's what y'all receive if you are a member of the channel, because I've responded to my members that way. Look at this. What's at the basis of your spirit collective? We got the shadow card that we already talked about in its connection to that surrender addictions. But now we're looking at it from the general standpoint, and the Five of Pentacles comes back out again, which came out before here with the Tower when we clarified it earlier. Jupiter has to do with integration from life lessons. Okay? Who put you through those lessons? Or what are those lessons? Your Saturn placement. There's Five of Cups clarifying the shadow of the Moon card, Mercury and Taurus. There's a lot of things that were lurking in that brain of yours. The way you're communicating with yourself, the audacity of the conversations, or the way people converse with you, it's showing itself outward. Even with Chiron, that's retrograde, is gonna have you even pull any of those wounds connected to, you know, your self-worth a whole lot more. Let me see what else. What was creating emotional familiarity? What has been creating emotional familiarity that was causing the body to respond in a certain way before the mind could interpret it? That's also the moon energy, because you do got Mercury and Taurus showing up here. What was creating emotional familiarity? Let's see. That's also significant. The questions you're asking to obtain clarity. Huh. What creates emotional familiarity? We got the Fool card. Now, hold up. Holy. There's also something here about April, the end of April of this year. The week of the 20th. As a fated point, though. Let me look. The will to exist, though. Something about the will to exist as a distinct being with this Fool card. Before you sustained your identity. And that impulse towards existence. That first step. That creates familiarity. This is also why I connected to Mars Aries energy, especially when we're looking at the history of tarot itself. It dates back to about the 1440s. Uranus wasn't discovered until 1781. So that's more than 3 centuries. This is also where new beginnings start, and it causes people to expect the worst rather than accept and indulge in a new beginning. Ten of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Mars and Pisces. Disconnecting from subconscious fears, for real. And then the 4 Wands. Venus and Aries. Oh shit. This is wild, bro. What creates emotional familiarity that you're having to uncover? become clearer on. Relationships, unions, quote unquote, commitments. False agreements, even. This is also where you're recognizing, you know, the way you may even process your feelings through connection. And really getting to the point where you do that with yourself, which causes people to become serial daters in a sense. Or if a person's in a position of solitude, they're actually in a position of isolation because they don't trust people. You don't get into a position of solitude until you release that energy where you're telling yourself, oh, I don't trust people. No, the issue is not the trust in people. The issue is where you're placing that trust. You know what I'm saying? 504. What's 504? Ain't that, is that Louisiana? No, I don't recall. Rehabilitation Act of 1973 protects students with disabilities from discrimination in programs. That could be significant in regards to not being supported or protected with as a child, someone who has some strong psychic gifts and abilities. Your 504 is New Orleans. New Orleans. Louisiana. Marilavo. Some of you are literally clearing work that has been done on the mind that causes one to feel work in the physical affects one. So I'm not saying this shit don't happen, okay? When it comes to people spiritually buzzing shit down. I'm just saying, know yourself cosmically so you don't be out here tripping, because that's how powerful the mind is. You down the rabbit hole for sure. Who you telling? Knowledge. Wait, is that where you from? What's in the immediate past with this trap and fear 8 of Swords energy and the triumphant success? The King of Pentacles, Taurus. See, this is what I'm saying. You knew what was up from the jump. Look what's at the bottom. Root systems, root work. Hey, yo. You know what? Because here's the thing, when you know your cosmic blueprint, and somebody attempts to mess with you on them type of ways, that could even be a conversation they have with another person or themselves. They better now wake up that beast. There'd be a whole nother Big Bang Theory out this. See, study your Venus, because in the immediate past, you left behind the way your Venus would love to experience pleasure. 929. That's this energy right here. That's usually one of the dates that Michael was celebrated. 929. That's the time right now. Especially that one right there. The way your Venus would love to experience itself through you. Venus is your persona when it comes to your desires, beauty, love, romance, what you would possibly indulge in. And if you don't know that, and you naturally connect to your Venus, and you're around people who give you the side eye about things that you do, now you may place yourself into a position where you're rebelling, and now you're taking it to a lower frequency of Venus. But if you are aware of your Venus essence, now it switches the narrative. Hence in point, whoever don't agree as to the way your vessel experiences your desires, your Venus placement, you just disconnect yourself from it. Especially if you got Venus and Pisces, you're going to be highly spiritual. Okay? Very much so. In any of the water signs at that point. You know? This is where people may even have some sort of jealousy or envy towards you, and they don't even know the fuck why. They don't even know why. But something within them that you expose by you being yourself, and their lack of awareness sends off a signal in their brain. I don't really mess with that, or zip that all the way up. Zip it up through that. Go study yourself. Go study yourself instead of minding collective business. That's all you gotta do. Go study yourself. Because everybody out here moving on the same advice. Try again until you succeed. That past that. We ain't over here doing none of that. Because one thing you're not gonna do is trick the universe. That's not happening. Never in the life. Not happening. Retrieval, bang. And we've been talking about this these past solar eclipse videos. Somebody about to be in a villa, not Love Island. But look at this. Look at this. Sovereignty, flow, and retrieval. Big Leo energy right there. Retrieval of the flow of your sovereignty. I love that. I love that for y'all. Venus and Leo. Tell me more about this immediate past. The Seven of Cups. And here you go with Venus and Scorpio. Now, so this was certainly a relationship, Venus, or a partnership, or something having to do with your finances that was quite transformational anyway. And the way you make decisions based on what you know your worth is. With some of you, you've been in relationships where the person was envious of you too. We got Knight of Wands here, Sagittarius. This is also probably why the energy left, because that's giving that vibe right there. Abruptly disconnecting. They can't handle you. Forget it, you may have felt some type of way about it, but oh well, baby, they can't handle you. Gratitude for the jamming. Look at this, Three of Wands. Is this out here in the other? No, it's not yet. Well, no, it's not. Gratitude. Three of Wands is Sun in Aries. So this is you reclaiming the authority of yourself, of your soul, your purpose, what you came here to do, which is also connected to the way you are in alignment to your Venus, your pleasures, your desires. and releasing yourself from old stories and beliefs. See, this is what that was saying, where there was a disconnect in beliefs anyway. The month of May could also be of importance in this as well, where you're now able to break down this situation so it can be dissolved, not allowing it to step into a new cycle of existence. Okay, so Sun in Aries, so that means between February and March 20th, February 19th to March 20th, there would be the portal that you're closing out a lot of residue from now. Old stories and denial, where you can no longer deny yourself about the situation, which helps you to make a better decision. Clarify what's crowning this energy for the collective. We got Moon in Aquarius, Mars in Leo, 7th house, courtships in the sideways challenging position. 7 of Swords, deception and envy. 7 of Wands, stand your ground. Root system. Literally, everything that's been rooted in the Earth Star chakra, you have gotten to a point where you've ancestrally integrated certain things. And now this live, the words that are coming through is the communication that's giving you the confirmation and the clarity. Absolutely. I also heard make your move, Ace of Swords, which is your immediate past. Immediate past is, I'm also getting it's generations of the past, but that's also immediate. Your immediate family, your first soul tribe. They don't have to be blood related, but the first family you were around. However it was that you showed up there. You know, because some people were adopted. Some people were, you know, in other situations. That's what I'm saying it that way. You have mental clarity now as to how this system was moving about, the root of it. I'm gonna go right to the hopes and fears position, which is what you're releasing with the root chakra, as that is the root system there. Not allowing yourself to be the person you were intended to be. Now you are, but in the past, this is what you're still, the final phase of you releasing this. Let's see, clarify. 8 of Pentacles, Sun in Virgo. What was he saying yesterday? 9/13 and 9/17, Virgo season. Venus in Scorpio and the square to Pluto in Aquarius, which brings on the energy of manipulation. 9:39 right now. Let me see something. Yeah, I mean, the 8 of Pentacles, if we're looking at it from Sun and Virgo perspective, which is what it is, releasing whatever was preventing you from expressing your identity with discernment. And that's what Venus in Virgo was doing. while she was there. Now she's in Libra, which can make it a sweet spot for relationships, especially if you went through that refinement process. This is why Venus can't stand being in Virgo. Having clearer routines, and then not the Empress, the High Priestess comes out again. This is also why you were experiencing digestive issues, especially with the solar plexus. That's the challenge. Especially if you were, expressing your identity through discernment. Or even calling things as it is. Naming things as it is with the throat and the third eye. What are they to release? Make it clearer to do so. What's this? Water. Your emotions behind it. Or this could literally be a Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, but that's having to do with your emotions, which I do see you doing anyway, because the outcome is a water element chakra, the sacral. Tell me more. The Strength card, yeah. And that's what was at the bottom of the deck. I mean, it still is, but spiritual strength. But when the sacral chakra came out, it was the Strength card. So you regaining the strength to create, to be in a flow, retrieval of your sovereignty and flowing with that. Because you're fully allowing yourself to feel this higher intelligence that you embody. The key is to embody it so you can feel it. And now you're no longer second guessing the next move, choice, or decision. The Two of Pentacles in reverse, the Queen of Pentacles at the bottom of the spread. You're standing in your power when it comes to your emotional maturity, your discipline, your structure, Capricorn. You're much wiser. Clarify the outcome. Sacral, suffering and silence and victory and success. The Chariot, you're moving forward. Yeah. Yes, you are, darling. So Cancer, 4th house, you're moving on beyond the ancestral memory. Okay, because here's, okay. It was at the bottom of the deck with cake, celebration, achievement, recognition, overthrow, success, victory, winner, conquest, mastery, bragging rights. Plans are coming to fruition. You're moving forward here. What is the collective tether to? For those that are still not recognizing, they have shifted out of that dimension where they feel as though they have to keep fighting. What is it they're tethered to? Show me that. What is a collective tether to? Or connected, rather. That tethered. Okay. What someone said, the way they said it. What they said, the way they said it, or what they didn't say. Nine of Swords. That suffering is silent. This is awesome. If I was to ask you, Are you fully ready to let go? Have you let go of that situation? You tell me yeah, and you're what I was asking you earlier. The answer is actually no. Why? This has to do with the cycle that's completed. Don't be attempting to hold on to a cycle that's completed, and that's why it completed. So tell me more. Why the world card? Why the world card? It has to come out. Let's see. This is Jupiter though. Judgment. Temperance. Eight of Cups, walking away from what no longer serves you, but possibly returning back to it emotionally. Returning back to it emotionally. What's this? The Tower. It's all about the way you're perceiving your self-worth, collective, and why you haven't fully released this situation that's not even physically around you for some of you. For others of you, this is why it's still physically around you. You're continuously rekindling emotionally with this situation, and it keeps putting you here. This, I told you, Saturn loves to be in Libra, is exalted in Libra. It would put you through these relationships over and over and over again, dress them up differently, romance, family, career, business, whatever, until you recognize you, until you see you and know you, because it's been unacknowledged this entire time, because you're holding on to what this energy hook of whatever they said, the way they said it, what they didn't say. Work on that energy, especially when it comes to you being defensive. That's a sign of weakness. Anytime you're around something that has you feeling as though you have to get into this defense mode, ask yourself what led you there anyway. How you got there. And then you got someone else here that just landed on the table. Someone else what? And here we go with this passion reignited. Someone else passion reignited. What we was talking about earlier. Making sure you get away from these energies that quote unquote seeing you start up certain things, and then look at this shit here. Shame. Which blocks the solar plexus. Where you take action based on your willpower. Clarify emotional withdrawal here. Clarify emotional withdrawal. The Hierophant. This is something you were deeply committed to. A major contract, a marriage, or someone that you were, sexually intimate with, because that's a way of forming a marriage too. And then fear, root chakra, big time. Some of this fear is not even yours. It's up. That's why I was telling you about the black walnut wash. Some of this fear is not even yours, from people that you've been with. The suffering in silence is having to do with an energy that is sitting in your sacral chakra that it's time to release. You can't make this shit up. The moon is in Gemini, helping you to release that. Yo. The Six of Wands, victory and success is in your outcome too, though. You will be prosperous. You will master this. You will master this, okay? I do see that. It don't seem easy, though. I get it. Book your personal. Get you right up and through and out of there with you having clarity of it, as well as your blueprint, a whole PDF document for you to revise when you find yourself on some acting as if you don't know. The Queen of Pentacles and what? The Moon card, Moon in Capricorn. You already know that to emotionally withdraw, you're gonna have to be disciplined with the way you're allowing your feelings to not assist you when that's exactly what they're intended to do. We got Page of Cups and the Illumination is doing it bit by bit. Don't rush yourself through this though. What's that small gesture that's coming through here? Page of Cups. Show me the small gesture to help them emotionally withdraw. What's the small gesture? It's given jester, as in the trickster energy. Reset. Hold on. Oh, 727 on my screen. Y'all see how many times this 727 is making itself known? July 27th. What happened? What happened? Something happened the 27th of July. That is Five of Wands energy. That's the first deacon of Leo. Let me know in the comments if whoever watches this on the replay. Something happened. Let me see. Shit. What happened on 27th? 7/27. 7/27. That show Sweet Magnolias is coming to mind. And their margarita nights. What happened 7/27? She over here screaming with it. 7/27. 7/27. What happened? A breakup? Interference? You were let down. If you were projecting human design, whatever this was that had you bitter, you better make sure you get that thing over there away from you. Speaking of margaritas, but you got a yacht here. Adventure, luxury, great ease, smooth sailing, self-indulgent wealth, extravagant. Oh, you probably don't see how important it is to disconnect from that, because it's been blocking your wealth anyway. You probably were over the top for somebody. Somebody's used to being average. You got to do with somebody that's been quote unquote celebrating you, but there's two sides to every story there. Coin toss. It's probably what the person did with you. Coin toss to see, should I stay or should I go? What? A coin toss? What you mean? Now, I Ching could even be significant though, because that's the way you'll create that. You could be studying that. That could also be something under 27. Let's look. The sun was opposing Pluto. The sun was in a trine to, yeah, that makes total sense. Sun was in a trine to Neptune. Sun was opposing Pluto. Sun was in a trine to Uranus. Let me take note of this, because the way this is out of control. Out of control. Let's get it in order since it's over here. $727. Come on now. Thank you. 727. Boom. And this, I need to put this point here. That would certainly allow you to question any type of old assumption without becoming trapped in it. The 27th. Is that what you did? Or that's what you've been ignoring to do? Question the old assumption without trapping yourself in it? Because it was certainly exposing everything that keeps you from fully expressing who you already are. That's 727 for you. That's literally the energy of the sky. That's why it keeps coming out, because it's confirming what we've been saying this whole time too. Dang. Show me the environment here. This energy here. This influence. And what's that? I got it. Slow it down. Okay. Let's look at this energy in your environment that's influencing this type of surge of energy in your environment. Okay, let's see. Before we clarify your advice. Clearly, 133.44. This is actually something, again, you see this clearly. Clearly, you see it. Through visible communication, visible communication. Excuse me? Well, if this is visible or hidden, you see exactly what's being communicated to you. You see the betrayal clearly. What is it you're clearly seeing? The magician. Oh, wow. Manipulation. I mean, that's magic. Everything you do, it's a form of manipulation. But because you change its form. Let's see. This shit here? No. No. 9 of Cups. The 9 of Cups and a 10 of Swords. That's the 19. That's the Sun card energy of exposure, making things brighter for you to see it. Okay. Speaking of visible communication, literally the colors of visibility, solar plexus, communication, the blue. Well, the someone was they actually wasn't. They really weren't showing you their intentions, but clearly you were able to see that. You might have played along with it for a while though. And they was probably thinking shit was sweet. Yeah, thinking it's expensive. I gotta pay the cost now. They was willing to be the boss through comparison, but they only got what it costs to be one. Experience. Right. You're not new to this, you're true to it. The Lovers. Came out sideways though. You do have the Lovers here still. Which been in this position since we used it to clarify what's at the forefront of your mind. It has to do with the partnership. It could also be a toxic relationship to an environment that exposes itself to you through a person. Resistance. Speaking of environment, as I'm looking at this rubber band, is on some pop offish type of thing. That is just go heal or some shit. Move that over there. Go heal. Go study yourself. You won't be in this position comparing yourself to collect. You're doing too much. Some of y'all be in here too, watching in the background. The foolishness. As long as you learn something, because you don't remember yet. As long as you learn something, you'll be all right. 10 of Pentacles. Another 10. 10, 9, 10. 10, 9, 6, 10. 10, 9, 6, 10. 10, 9. 10, 9, 6, 10. 10, 9, 6, 10. 10, 9, 6, 10. 10, 9, 6, 10. 10, 9, 6, 10. 10, 9, 6, 10. You know what that just got me to say? Tell a sister then. Tell your sister then. 10, 9, 6, 10. Tell your sister then. What that mean? This could be somebody who calls you a sister or a bro or some shit. That is hilarious. You're obviously, you probably used to communicate with this person about your ideas or what was your emotional fulfillment. Even things that had to do with finances, and now you're seeing that there's an imbalance in the connection. It's not harmonious. It was, again, a difficult decision for you to make, but 727 allows you to see things clearly, feel it deeply, and move differently. Since then, clarify the Empress as the, what's that called? Advice? Clarify the Empress for the advice here for the collective. Death card. Transformation. Scorpio. End it. Oh, with the Emperor. That's 313, which is 10 of Cups. Mars in Pisces. Release the hounds. Release. Wow, that's Anubis energy. Little dogs. Release yourself from these situations that are not in alignment to your spirituality. That's part of your spiritual hygiene, by the way. Yeah, big time. The Hangman, Pisces. The Justice card. Child. You got the Hangman that came out. Major Arcana. This is a Major Arcana village right here. The Justice card. Madam, Sir, stand your ground here. Okay? When it comes to trusting what it is that you've been developing. Because you do have a proposal coming to you, an invitation, a proposal. This could even have to do with love. So you okay. Whoever this energy is, again, because it has to do with a relationship, whether it was business, career, or family. For some of you, this hit you as a triple whammy. It occurred in all three of those areas at once. Speaking of the Ace of Pentacles, you receiving something. Isn't, hold on. Because he had on a Whitney Houston shirt. She's okay. Her birthday's in 2 days. Soul return. She's a Leo. Yeah, so Leo season. Okay. Everything that's being shifted up out of your way, out of your life. These people are always gonna watch you anyway. They're supposed to. That's part of their karma, their lesson to learn from you. So listen, they're gonna be watching regardless. You just focus on what you have to do here because you do have major opportunities. That is your justice because you've been going through quite the journey here, especially to get to the point of mastery. You could be a life path 33 as well, don't have to be, but you were in so many uncomfortable positions where you were clearing out, transforming the maternal side or something having to do with the mother figure, the empress, or giving birth to your ideas based on your willpower, the decisions you make based on your willpower that at one point was a challenge. But this is part of your karmic justice, the justice for the lessons you've been through. But you're gonna have to stand your ground. Trust what you feel. Trust what you feel. Especially if the words are coming through already, or a thought process comes through. It's more so having to do with the fact that you are finished cycling through the feelings, especially, again, the moon is in Gemini, which is why I'm expressing it that way. So that way, by the time it gets into the new moon, because it'll be in this phase, moon in Gemini, Cancer, until it reaches Leo. Leo goes into the new moon phase. So while the moon is in Gemini, you're feeling a lot of these thought processes of communication, what was said, what hasn't been said. You're feeling the depths of it so you can see things clearly and move accordingly. And now the moon, when it goes into Cancer, is going to have you feeling those feelings on a much deeper level, but you're able now to get to the foundation of it, the root of it, to clear it out completely. So that way when we approach the solar eclipse, is literally 1:44 on the time of 55. When we approach the solar eclipse, that ancient gift that's returning can return without the distortion. If that's not handled before, the gift returns with distortion, but you still have the opportunity to make adjustments. Okay. But yeah, let's close this out. Final message. The bear. Unconditional love, playful, protective. You are being guided to rest and enjoy yourself and others. Create balance in your life and follow your truths. You will intuitively know when and how to take inspired action. You have immense inner wisdom and physical strength. The bear. Big bear. And the tortoise. Patience, persistence, resourceful. You are being guided to be mindful. Enjoy each moment and have patience with yourself and others. Taking small steps forward will deliver you to huge accomplishments. Okay? Here we go. So gratitude to all of you that tuned in. We have reached our closing of this message. The griffin is at the bottom of the deck. You have balance, clarity, spiritual enlightenment. You are being guided to find the harmonic balance of your mind, body, and soul. The abundance you seek already exists within you. You are strong, independent, and fearless. Well, you have no fear. Take flight and achieve what you desire. Love that. It's some mythical creature there you got with you. told you you wasn't average, honey. I told you you wasn't average. So go out there and be the best version of yourself. And even more than that. You're beyond capable. You wouldn't find this channel if you weren't ready. Okay?